Welcome to Career Uprising. I'm your host and professional career coach, Lorraine Rise. Join me as I guide you through an amazing journey of self-discovery and empowerment. If you are looking for work, changing careers, or stuck in a toxic job, then this is the show for you. I offer both practical and spiritual guidance to help you up-level and advance your career. Let's start the uprising. Hey everybody, you are listening to episode 151, From Rejection to Resilience, Landing a Job in Today's Market. Hey everybody, welcome to the show. I'm your host, Lorraine Rise. Happy New Year to you, or again, a second show already this is for January. You can learn more about myself and my amazing team of writers and coaches at careeruprising.com if you are not familiar. But thank you so much for tuning in. This is the busy season, you guys. Oh my goodness. I've been hopping with calls of prospective clients, and I'm also very busy transitioning to a new CRM or kind of software system in my business, which is a major undertaking. And the holiday season just finished, and oh my goodness. So I'm really super busy right now, but I'm taking the time today to talk to you guys for some shows here. So it was a whirlwind last year, definitely in 2023. A lot of ups and downs, personally, professionally. It was kind of an intense year, but it was also very much defined for me by the production and release of my book, What You Didn't Learn in School. And that was an exciting and a success. So I'm really grateful to everyone who helped me to bring that alive and supported it and came to the book launch party and everything. So if you're not familiar or want to learn more about the book, go to careeruprising.com/book. We made a new page dedicated to the book right there on the website. So I'd love for you to check it out. I'd love your feedback. And of course, if you are one of the wonderful people that already bought the book, please consider giving it a review on Amazon. It's really the best way that you can help the book. And I would very much appreciate it. And I always read all the reviews of the podcast and the book. So it will get seen, it will get read and appreciated. So, all right. Well, before we get into the topic, God, it's been a tough job market, and we're going to talk about that today. I feel like when things get tough, it's even more important that we focus on the wins and the successes. And we've had a couple at Career Uprising. December was a good month for clients landing jobs and getting interviews. And I want to take a quick moment to just kind of call out and spotlight a couple brief successes that were just so inspiring, especially given how tough the job market is. And actually, both of these are little snippets of reviews from clients. Both of them actually were public school teachers. I have helped so many of them over the years and have a dang good track record, actually, of helping them to get placed. They're doing the hard work, of course, but both of these that I'm going to share, now that I think about it, I didn't do that on purpose, are from teachers, but we help people in all different industries. But I want to first share with what Janine says. Janine says, Career Uprising did a superb job supporting my transition from a 30-year teaching career to a government contracting job. From the very first session, Lorraine and her team were focused on providing me all the resources I needed to switch careers successfully, and did so in an efficient and timely fashion. Thanks to their support, I found a job that fits my desired qualifications and pay range. I'm happy to give them my full support and highest recommendation. Thank you, Janine. Appreciate those words. Loved working with you. And then Allison says, I worked with Lorraine as I was moving from the public sector back to the private sector. I needed help updating my resume, my LinkedIn profile, which was completely outdated. Her advice on targeted job search, keywords, helping my resume tell my story, and consistent advice along the way helped me feel confident and positive in my search process. I would highly recommend Lorraine, especially for candidates transitioning industries. Yes, if you are transitioning to a new line of work or a new industry, it is even more important that you work with a coach, because that's an even tougher job search. There's just more layers to that process. So thank you, Allison, and all my clients. I love your successes. They make me happy. It's music to a career coach's ears, especially in the competitive, crazy recruiting process we have now with online applications. So let's get into it, guys. Okay. I am watching what's going on out there a lot on LinkedIn, and it's wild. It really is. I don't know if it's going to calm down in 2024 or not. But I see posts every day from job seekers documenting their job search trials and tribulations online. I'm just connected to so many job seekers, as you can imagine, and recruiters. And I've seen job postings with thousands and thousands. I think I saw one with 6,000 applicants one time. I think that was the peak. It was just crazy. How did this happen? How did we get here? But more importantly, too, how can you, the candidate, survive in this market? Because specifically today, what I kind of want to talk about is job search rejection and fatigue, because there's so much of that. The struggle is real. It is when you've been searching for a long time, and it is definitely taking people longer. So today's show is going to give you a couple quick, just high-level strategies and perspectives to help you overcome this endless cycle of online applications and rejections, because goodness knows it can take a toll on your mental health for sure. All right. And especially when you're unemployed, 6, 8, 10, 12 or more months. I've even seen people be unemployed for years. So there's so many things that factor into this, and so many reasons why somebody could be out of work for that long. But if you are in a job search now, or even contemplating one, I want you to listen up. Definitely. So, in fact, I want you to listen to this show and then the next one that's going to come out after it. Today's show and the next one in 2 weeks are honestly companion shows. I should have made them like a part 1 and a part 2, but they go well together. So we'll talk more about that at the end of the show. But how did we get here? It's a complicated answer, and I don't have all of the answers to know why the job market is the way that it is right now. I know, of course, the pandemic had a lot to do with that, and the onset and popularity of remote work has definitely changed the game. And also right now, there's economic factors with inflation, and some employers, I think, pulling back on job openings. It's just tech, finance in particular. I think they've really been hit hard. And there's just a lot of uncertainty going forward. And of course, we have an election this year, and that does affect it as well. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with things as this year goes on and we get closer to that too. But I think also just culturally, there's been just a colossal mindset shift that has happened within the workforce. And everyone wants to work remote, almost, it seems like. And those jobs are so competitive. Remote jobs have 100 times more applicants than the same job on site, easily. I'm talking like 1,000 applicants to maybe 10 or less. It's that big of a difference. So I'm telling clients, if you are able and willing to go on site, make it known and make that a strategy in your job search, because you'll have a lot less people to compete with. But I know that's not really what most people want right now. But also I think that, as I said, hiring is also slowing down a little bit. According to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, they've reported that over the summer 2023, job openings declined to their lowest level actually in 2 years. And overall, hiring in the U.S. was down about 24% year over year in 2023. So it's not you're not crazy. It really is tough out there, and it's just a lot going on. I'm seeing, I would guess, and this is just kind of a number I'm pulling out here, but based on just eyeballing it, it's taking people, 6 to 8 months to find a job. That's not uncommon, even if you're qualified, even if you have a great resume. But of course, it depends a lot on your line of work, your job search strategy, and your level of effort, maybe even your age as well. Your resume, there's so many things. It's such a complicated answer. So it's always hard for me to tell people when they ask me, how long is it going to take me to find a job? I don't know. I don't know. But start now, start early, and get help early in the process if you're thinking of it. All right. So here's what I want to do. Let's go ahead and just pause, since we've talked for a second about the economy and how we got here. We're going to take a quick commercial break. And when we come back, I want to share my strategies with you. I have 3 things that I want to share with you about how you can kind of protect yourself during this time, and especially your mindset in particular, and manage a job search that is taking a long time. So stay tuned. We're going to be right back. Hey there, listeners. Thanks for tuning in to Career Uprising. I have some exciting news for you. This show has been going steady since 2018, and I have amassed well over 100 episodes so far. So I decided to do something big and bold. I put the best of all of my teachings together in a book. That's right. I have a brand new book on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and all the major outlets. It's called What You Didn't Learn in School: Lessons on Growth, Change, and Living Your Best Life. This book contains 30 powerful lessons from my podcast and my work as a career coach to help you live your best life. Learn how to increase your confidence, get rid of imposter syndrome forever, finally get clarity on your career path, and so much more. This book covers everything from careers to finances to health to relationships and more. Head over to Amazon, Barnes & Noble, or your favorite book retailer and pre-order your copy of What You Didn't Learn in School. Then go to my website, careeruprising.com, to learn more about how Career Uprising can help you transform your career and your life. Let's get back to the show. All right, guys, and we are back. So here are some quick strategies for how you can overcome job search rejection and fatigue and increase your odds of landing a job in 2024. So number 1, manage expectations from the beginning. So going back to what I just said, it is taking most people, I think, longer right now to find a job. So understand that it could take you 6 months to find a job, whereas maybe it would only have taken you 2 or 3 before. And if you're an executive, it could take you a year to 18 months. That's actually pretty normal. So like I said, it depends on a lot of things, but you need to manage your expectations and kind of settle in. And there are people, not to be discouraging, there are people finding work sooner. There absolutely are. I'm thinking of one client that we just finished working with. I think his job search was closer to 60 to 90 days. So absolutely, it can happen sooner. But we do want to manage our expectations. Absolutely. And I think when it comes to rejection, I see so many posts on LinkedIn too about people who are just devastated from all the rejection that they get in their job search. And you need to manage that expectation that rejection isn't really rejection. You have to understand the hiring process. Your resume may or may not have even got read by a person. You're not truly getting rejected in a lot of those cases. You're just not getting seen. And there's a difference. So it's not always that your resume is terrible or there's something wrong with you. I mean, maybe it could be one of those things, but it's not always because of that. It's just the recruiting process is tough right now. There's tons of applicants and some of it is moving to AI, and it's yet to be seen how that's going to change things as well. There's still this tug of war between remote work, and on-site work with employers and employees. So there's a lot going on right now. You have to just kind of understand that. And like I said, then you've got the economy and the election. the world is kind of crazy right now, if you haven't noticed. So that's going to be reflected in the job search market as well. So please don't let yourself get discouraged by this. Just understand that rejection or declines are a part of the process, and you might need to try some other methods. We're going to talk about that in tip number 3. But first, step 1 is have the right mindset. Go into this not worrying about the rejection or not taking it personally. That's the biggest thing. Don't take it personally, and just be proactive and patient and persistent, and know that it's not just you. It's taking everybody longer to find a job right now, nearly everybody. Okay. So it's going to be okay. Number 2, if you are unemployed right now, I would recommend getting a side job pretty quickly at the start of your search. And we're going to talk about this also in the next episode as well. Like I said, that one's going to be kind of a companion to this. But if you've lost your job, I really want you to consider maybe getting a lower paying or a part-time job just as a stopgap as soon as possible. And the reason I say that is because it's taking people longer to find jobs. So, we can go into this thinking, I should be able to get another job in, 60 days or something. But then the search goes on. And if the search goes on, then you might be in trouble, and you might wish you had already had built up some extra income. So that depends a lot on whether or not you have savings. So if you're pretty financially sound and you have good savings, you might not need to do that. But if you don't, as soon as you lose your job, even if you don't think you're in trouble financially yet, you might still want to think about that just to take extra measures. And you don't necessarily have to put that job on your resume, at least not right away. It's really just a stopgap to make more money. It's just kind of a safety net. But that's something I think that you should consider if you don't have, 6 months of savings in the bank to pay your bills, which most people don't. But, it just depends on who you are, how much money you make, and a lot of different things. But that's something that you might want to think about. Because, hey, jobs that used to pay $10 an hour, fast food or even retail, God, they're paying $15 to $20 an hour. They're paying a lot more. So it actually might help you in the short term to pay your bills if you need to do that. But step 3 then is, and this is so key. I was just talking to a recent client about this today. Do not rely solely on the job boards. It's easy to apply that way, but that's what everybody is doing. You don't want to do what everybody is doing because then you're not going to stand out. Your chances of being plucked out of the pile by the sheer brilliance of your resume are less than 10% for sure, probably about 5%. That's just an estimate. But don't play a losing game, all right? In fact, I'm going to tell you a quick story. I recall one job search of mine where I did apply exclusively online, 100%, with one exception. There was one networking effort that I made, one person that I reached out to that I thought was a good person who would be relevant. It was a contact of mine in the HR field who I hadn't talked to in a couple of years. We were connected on LinkedIn, but we didn't even know each other that well. I knew she would know who I was, but it wasn't like we talked. But anyway, I asked her for a phone call so I could get some advice, and she said yes. And what happened was she connected me to a recruiter that she knew, and nothing panned out with the job opportunities from that recruiter. But then she sent me to another recruiter who that did work out, that did have a job that I got. So I spoke to one person, got passed to another person, and then got passed to another person. And wouldn't you know it, out of the 100+ applications that I did online, that was the one that worked out. It still astounds me to this day. So it really does work. I want you to think about that for a minute, okay? And if you need more help with the job search mechanics and with networking, There's 2 other episodes of mine, number 136 and 122 in the archives. You can go to careeruprising.com/podcast and everything is there. But 136 and 122 are good ones. And then, of course, we can help you. We can coach you as well. But that is really, to me, a testament to standing out and networking and talking to people and just varying your methods in the search. That's really going to help you a lot. So bottom line, you guys, manage your expectations, manage your mindset, get started before you think you need a new job. If you even get a whiff that there could be layoffs or anything, get started in your search now, okay? And cultivate a positive mindset that doesn't get hurt by all of the rejections. Let it just motivate you to find another way to get in front of that hiring manager. I'm also a big fan of sending follow-up messages, either preferably by email or by LinkedIn, to the recruiter or the hiring manager or whoever you think is recruiting for the job and posted it. Not everybody's going to reply, but it is something that very few people actually do, and it will help you to stand out because you only need one job. So think about that. Every time you put in an application, you need to be trying to find who it was that posted the job and sending them a short, not AI, written message, something short and sweet and genuine that you wrote or that was written by a person, and try that, okay? And send your resume that way, all right? And that's something we help clients with too in coaching, is that messaging, what to say. But you don't need to overthink it. It's fairly basic, actually, okay? So I hope these things help. I hope you can have a resilient mindset, patience, a good support system, maybe even a coach and a better resume if you need help from us, maybe even a part-time income as well. There's a lot of ways to tackle this, but help is out there for sure. And the next show that I'm going to do is somewhat of a continuation of this topic. It's going to be called Out of Work and Out of Time, How to Stay Afloat During Unemployment. And that's going to focus pretty specifically on the financial aspect. So just a couple of ideas that I'm going to shoot out to you in that one about how to manage your finances a little bit and how to be proactive and try to stay afloat from a financial standpoint. So if that's relevant to you, make sure that you check that one out as well. All right. There you go, guys. 3 quick tips. I hope that was at least a little bit helpful. But of course, if you want more help, we are here for you and we can customize something to work for you in your exact situation. But I hope you have an amazing start to 2024. I'm excited to embark on another year with you of this show and just have you in my network. So thank you so much. And I'll be back in 2 weeks with a new show. Take care, guys. That's it for today's show. Thank you so much for listening. If you like what you heard today, please consider giving the show a positive review on iTunes. It would mean a lot to me, and it would help to spread the word so that others can learn about the show. Thanks again for tuning in, and I can't wait to connect with you again next time on Career Uprising.
This show is brought to you by inflowradio.com, the best curated talk radio network for personal development, wellness, spirituality, and conscious business.